Hiya, Vern. Don't often see you around these parts. What time is it on the west coast there? Look, everyone, Vern's here. Oh, I'm a bit warm with my top on, actually, under these lights. Well, here we go, then. We're live. Broadcasting to the World Wide Web. Does anyone even call it that anymore? The World Wide Web. Hey, Venom. How's it going? Everyone rolling in. Venom in the house. Mr. Fuller's here. Hi, Connor. Good evening indeed, my friend. Good evening. I'm just, takes me a minute to, warm into things. Because I'm clicking around, pressing buttons, sorting stuff out, and I've got to get my streaming game on, you know what I'm saying? Shake it off a little bit and get ready for some action. Hey. Look, Vern's here, Connor. It's like, what, 6 in the morning for Vern? Brian's rolling in. Hi, Brian. Jono, the regular crowd. It's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. The regular crowd rolls in. God, I bet. I don't think I've ever gone live and boom. Everybody's been there. Have you all been waiting? Oh, this cup of tea is very disappointing. We're out of sugar. I'm using some weird sweetener that we found at the back of the cupboard, and it's not a good experience. I wouldn't recommend it. Yowza. Gosh, lots of folks about tonight. Everyone in chat like, 5 p.m. in Michigan there. We've got the time update from Flaffle. Flaffle's with us, everyone. Everyone say hi to Flaffle. A regular out and about on the YouTube commenter scene. Valued member of the MoDXtra Games and Collectibles viewing community. Yowza. 5 p.m. in Michigan. Yeah, I'll just sit tight for a minute while everyone else is all just saying hello to each other in the chat, which is not a tremendous experience for those catching me video on demand. But trust me, folks, you should come and hang out live, and you get all this wonderful interaction that's going on in the chat right now, like Connor fist bumping folks and Brian dropping yo. Jono Redmond is in my chat, and he's chatting it up in Twitter right now because I keep getting the notifications at the top of my screen. Oh dear! Right, well, there seems to be plenty of folks about. We'll get started. So, hello everybody, and welcome to.
Listen to your friend Chris.
My buttons time delaying again. Watch. Welcome to.
Listen to your friend Chris.
That was more timely. This is where you all come together on a Tuesday night to listen to me rabbit on about my life and times as an adult collector and share a few thoughts about some things that have caught my eye over the week. And, of course, I invite you in chat to share your thoughts and let's see what's going on and what people think about what's happening. It's the usual routine. I've just gathered up a few bits of kind of pre-prepared pickies for us all to have a look at. It's not a full news rundown by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the things that have caught my eye, the things that I'm interested in. But nonetheless, I'm sure we'll end up down a few tangenty cul-de-sacs and whatever. But it looks like there's lots of lovely folks joining me today, so we should have plenty of conversation with regards to the updates. But the broad themes are the Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, particularly the Marvel Legends and the G.I. Joe classified ones as the sort of two areas that I collect and am interested in. But I want to open up the conversation a little bit and see what chat's thoughts are around just convention exclusives in general. I know so Vern's in the chat. I alluded to it as a chat member myself in Vermstream on Saturday night about my feelings with regards to exclusives, convention exclusives and stuff, and just kind of so a broader, wider conversation around convention exclusives. And then all the JoeFest panel reveals from Fresh Monkey Fiction, they started to trickle out the pictures from that, and I wanted to swing round. We're watching Fresh Monkey Fiction with interest here at MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and so we'll have a little natter about some of their stuff as well. Right, how do I stop the Twitter notification? Because it keeps popping down over the top of my notes. John is there. I'm multitasking Chris. I'm also farming mole rats in Fallout 76 for power armor upgrades. A worthy endeavour. A worthy endeavour. Bobby Dubs in the house, everybody. Everyone say hi to Bobby Dubs, another legend out there in the community. Flaffles had a big win today. Walked into Walmart. They had the new wave, Doc Jinx, and Night Creeper. Torch arriving tomorrow. Going to be a fun evening opening figures. Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. No sign of Torch over this side, which is weird because I've had my Doc, my Night Creeper, and my Jinx, and my Norgahide, but no sign of Torch. Although it does say this week on In Demand Toys, who I've got my pre-order with, you'd have thought they'd all just arrived together on the same boat, but, you know, whatevs. Vern's driving and listening. Well, drive careful, my friend. Venom's still waiting for his Night Creeper. Hey, and Will's in the house as well, everybody. Everyone say hi to Will, another valued member of the community joining us this evening. I know, right? With the Marvel Legends hitting at the same time as the Classifieds, it's happy month for sure. Which Marvel Legends wave is dropping over there? Because I've just got a week or two ago. Well, at the same time, I pre-ordered Cable as well. When Doc and Night Creeper came, Cable came from the Zabu wave. But I think there's been another wave since, hasn't there? Like with the She-Hulk and stuff. I only really pay attention to X-Men stuff, so it's all a bit, it's a bit hard for me to keep up sometimes. All right, well, is everyone sitting comfortably? Are we ready? Should we get into some pre-prepared material? And I'm going to go straight for the juicy one up top, I think, today. Because I know a lot of you folks out there are, like me, massive G.I. Joe Classified series fans, and probably follow this channel because of the G.I. Joe Classified related chat. So let's get started with the hot news in G.I. Joe. Let's talk about Once a Man, Cobra Commander. Look at this. Look at this. I actually had a very lucky turn with this the other day because I was admittedly winding down a little early for work. It was like 4 in the afternoon, and I picked up my iPad and I opened up my Flipboard. And IGN is one of the news outlets that I follow on my Flipboard, newsfeed, Flipboard newsfeed thing. And right there, bang, top article, first one to read, right out the gate at whatever time it was, like 4 o'clock, was the IGN article about the Hasbro exclusives. So I saw it and got it spread around a few folks that I know, like Eric, Charlock, you guys met last week, and what have you. But it was, it was good fortune, really, but it still didn't help me out, like, in terms of engagement. It didn't attract me any more like interest in my Instagram or anything. But nonetheless, it was exciting news. There were 3 items on there. The Death's Head, which we'll talk about in a sec. The Transformers thing, which I've completely overlooked because I don't collect Transformers. And then the Once a Man Coco, which obviously caught my eye and the eyes of many. Oh, we've got a few more folks rolling in here. So everyone say hello to Gap After Dark. Hello there, my friend. Good evening, good evening. And then we've got Gerard rolling in, waving hands to everyone. Wave to Gerard, everyone. Hi, Gerard. Wonderful. The Once a Man Coco is interesting. It was alluded to. It's definitely thrown some of the predictions and speculation to whack, because if they're making Once a Man Coco the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, that means that Raptor, which was previously presumed to be the Once a Man, presumed to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, is not, which throws the whole possibility of Starduster being the PulseCon or the 1027 exclusive. I forget which one. This, of course, is all based on the retailer code word breakdown stuff that Diagnostic 80 does over at the Full Force. And he's usually pretty clued in. He gets, a bit of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge heads up from the Hasbro team. And he hasn't done accurately, or they've changed their mind at the last minute or something. So SDCC exclusive, but then it also means that the other assumed deluxe exclusives, Raptor and Starduster, could be getting shuffled around as well. But it looks like from the images there, we've got the core of the retro Cobra Commander with regards to the head and the legs, with the torso piece and the arms being the core area of change there to make it the Once a Man, with a little bit of muddy paint applications applied to the bottom of the trouser legs there. Cool, blimey. I can't keep up with chat, sorry, everybody. Andrew Davis is in the house. Hi, Andrew. We've got Profit924 joining us as well. I'm just going to skip over the thoughts and reflections on Coco for a minute. We'll do a quick round. I'll do a whip through of that, but I wanted to pause and say hi to some of the new arrivals. So, yeah, the main change is obviously in the torso, and then the addition of the fully mutated Cobra Commander Snake and the removable face mask piece and the head, of course. So I suspect, because somebody commented on one of my posts, Instagram or my YouTube community post, saying, "Oh, I wish they'd maybe done like something with the legs," but probably from a tooling perspective, they've not done that. But it's looking good. It's certainly, if you're a fan of G.I. Joe and you know the movie, G.I. Joe and the movie very well, you look at that and you know exactly what's going on. You immediately identify nostalgically with the character. I think I lined up some of the other promo pictures, actually, so I'll just move it on a bit. Yeah, there we go. Packaging's looking sweet, nice and shit hot. Obviously it's a deluxe convention exclusive, so they do always put a little bit of something more, a little bit of something sexier into the packaging situation. I did notice, I think it's on this slide here, yeah, that Once a Man Coco is 130, and the Nemesis Immortal, or Nemesis Enforcer, as he should truly be known, was 140. So there's like a whole gap of 10 figures between Once a Man Coco and the Nemesis Enforcer. Another new arrival, everyone. Everyone say hi to Tap Tap Toys. Another legend across the community there. Welcome, Tap Tap. Which I thought was interesting. That there's a whole, a batch of 10 figures difference there. I don't know if that's indicating something in terms of the release schedule then, that there's another 9 characters to be seen between Once a Man Coco at San Diego Comic-Con and then the next convention event, which will be San Diego Comic-Con in July, and then when's PulseCon? So there's something in September and there's something in October. I did have it written down actually in here, but then I think I might have deleted the little note I kept with it written down on. Oh no, I did keep it. One sec. Yeah, so you got San Diego Comic-Con 25th to 28th of July. PulseCon's usually in September. Then the New York Comic-Con in October. Then 10/27, last weekend of October it was last year. And then there's usually a fan stream. So the last 2 years there's been a G.I. Joe fan stream that took place in December as well. So there's still plenty of opportunity for them to fill in those number gaps. Although New York Comic Con doesn't tend to have an exclusive figure, it's just a place where they do a panel, and I think we figured it out. Jono, you and I on a previous stream kind of rattled it out. I think maybe it was Mutton Junkyard or something. I can't remember, but something got slipped into the cabinet for a bit of a reveal. So yeah, and it looks a fun figure. I have to confess, I think this is probably going to be a pass for me. I'm probably going to be skipping on the Once a Man Coco, just because it's a little bit too niche for my tastes. As the regulars around these parts know, I'm not the biggest fan of having too many repeat characters in my collection anyway. And over and above that, it's just a little bit too niche. A retro Cobra Commander next to a Nemesis Immortal sort of works for me in my head on the shelf, but I'm not sure about this one. I don't know. I'll see when the time comes how easily it's going to be to get in the online purchasing, which is I'll car park that idea for a minute because I want to talk about kind of convention exclusives broadly. How much money I've got at the time, all that good stuff. But let's take a moment, folks, to rattle through the chat and gather up some of the thoughts and get some conversation going. And also for those watching video on demand. So Connor here says, not super hot for this, but we'll get it as it's Cobra Commander. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm kind of feeling the same. I'm not super hot for it, which is weird. You think I would be because I like the wacky shit, but it's just a bit too niche for me. And then Venom's chiming in here. Let's see what Venom thinks of it. It looks good for an accurate look, but to be honest, I was hoping it was going to get some classified treatment with more realistic reptile-looking face, maybe, instead of the wacky classic design. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, looking for something a little bit more reptilian in the headspace there. Jono, true. You never did believe that Starduster was the PulseCon figure. You have said that many times, and you may well be vindicated, my friend. All the times folks like me have said, no, I'm pretty sure it's it's going to be Starduster. And at that point, my man, you are welcome to hop in here and tell me you told me so for sure. Okay, here we go. Bobby Wald, Bobby Dubs, mutated Coco, Nemesis of Force, so we can't be that far away from the Globulus, Pythona, and Cobra Largard. Oh, yeah, so thank you, Bobby. So on the packaging, obviously the packaging sleuths have been, doing their thing, getting their magnifiers out and examining the finer detail. Obviously, Globulus features in the artwork there. As does the Nemesis Immortal. And then I think is the leading theory that the dude in the beret in the corner is an updated version of Falcon, a movie version of Falcon. Is that the leading theory out and about? So I think you're right, absolutely. I would be less interested in Globulus, he says. But we know how these things go. But definitely Pythona. I really vividly remember as a child seeing that first scene, where she infiltrates the Cobra base. Just like blew my mind. And so I'd really be up for a Pythona for sure. So I think you may be right, Bobby Dubs. I think you may be right there. Jono's saying, what numbers are the Dragonfly figures? Oh, great point. I don't remember. I will have the digital renders on my external hard drive because I keep all my stuff, but it's a bit difficult for me to check right now with everything opened up. So if anyone could have a look at that, do a quick Google and let us know. Venom saying, following up on his reptilian head comments, maybe more realistic head closer to the packaging art. Prophet's asking, is the packaging art foiled? I don't know. If anyone does know the answer, then please do enlighten us, but I don't think it will be. And we've got a couple more new faces, folks, while I'm scanning through the chat. Keep on Collecting's with us, saying good morning, everyone. It's the middle of the night over here, and so Keep on Collecting must be somewhere else in the world. Jono Redmond, do Hasbro do exclusives for New York Comic Con? Thought they gave up on that con. Yeah, so I think I mentioned that before. I don't think it'll be an exclusive, but they definitely did a panel there last year. Definitely did a panel there. Will's been keeping a track of the numbers too. 135, 136, 138, and 139 haven't been assigned to any of the classified line. Okay, so that could be any of the name-only reveals. Bobby Dub, it's supposed to be a physical product at SDCC. Looks like they're doing away with these QR codes. So that may well be the case. I can't dispute that. Because I'm not going to SDCC, and it'd be very unlikely that I'll ever get out to a San Diego Comic-Con unless I win the lottery or something, or get some incredible windfall somehow. That side of things, I've paid very little attention to. I just scanned through the text and through some of the comms that Hasbro put out about it, and just saw that sentence, the select quantities will be available after the convention on Hasbro Pulse. And that was, that's the sentence that I searched for. And then once I see that, I ignore the rest. But there is the whole thing. I know Vern, who's hanging out in the listening in podcast style while he's driving, on his stream on Saturday, there was some talk about like the San Diego Comic-Con portal, where you have to like pre-book a time slot to go and like get a raffle ticket to go and buy your convention exclusives or something. So whether that means they've got physical product there, but I know the QR code card thing last year was extremely unpopular from the sort of second-hand feedback that I received. A few folks saying hi to everyone. Keep on Collecting has dropped a good day, which may be giving us some indication as to where in the world he may be. He or she, maybe. Venom, John Redmond. Type in his long comments that go beyond the borders of my thing, so I can't press the button. Here we go. What are the odds classified team will make a Cobra Lab hat? High odds. Place your bets now, folks. I think you could be on for a good winner there. So everyone's saying hi. Oh, we got some more faces. Rocco the Great's with us. Hi, Rocco. Everyone say hi to Rocco the Great. And another first-time chatter here. We've got Lone Dragon. Hi, Lone Dragon. Welcome. And Lone Dragon's asking, are we going to talk about the NECA Jessica Fletcher and whether we need Amos Tupper or Father Dowling next? No, I hadn't planned on talking about that, actually. But we could stick around and I'll swing back by and revisit it, because I'm totally up for like a 70s and 80s random TV show detective, a Columbo, the Miami Vice pair, like a Don Johnson and a Michael, Michael Taylor. Michael Thomas and all that. I'd be totally up for that, 100%. Ironside was mentioned when we were talking about the other day, me and Connor. Who else? I'm just trying to think. Kojak. And of course, your classic British stuff, like you can't ignore, like Inspector Morse. I'd love an Inspector Morse. Lovejoy. Hey, Marvel fans here. Hi, Marvel fan. Welcome. Then getting back to the Coco, the snake head. Once Man Coco is weak sauce for sure. A screaming head would have looked so much better, in my opinion. Yeah, let's just jump back to the that one there. Yeah, I think that may well be an engineering problem. I mean, I don't know, but it may well be an engineering issue. Windblade and Lone Dragon here, clearing up the Dragonfly numbers 143, 144, 145, and then Lone Dragon saying 142 to 145. So that's your Wild Bill, your Crazy Legs, your Airtight, and Glenda there. So what were we saying before? So 130 is Coco. Once Man Coco, 130. Nemesis Immortal's 140. The Dragonfly figs are beyond Nemesis Immortal, then at 142 to 145. And then what numbers are the ones that have just dropped? I think I've already thrown the boxes away. They're in the 120s, aren't they? So, yeah, definitely some unallocated numbers. A big gap in the numbers there. Keep on collecting. Wait, what? NECA Jessica Fletcher. Right, 1 second. Hold the line. Let's get this NECA Jessica Fletcher picture up. Tangent cul-de-sac number 1, everybody. Save image as. Oh, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it when I try and do things at the same time as live streaming. My little old crank wheel laptop is having a right old groan at me now. It's like, no, what are you doing? Surfing the internet and streaming and talking and piping your camera in, you madman. Right, here we go. Obviously, there is some NECA Jessica Fletcher conversation to be had. So I will now dutifully, as a man ready, willing and able to give his audience what they want, I will add Jessica Fletcher to the end of my gallery, and we can revisit the Jessica Fletcher conversation. Or maybe I should just insert her randomly into the slide deck. That would be a good way of rolling, wouldn't it? Right, so I've downloaded the picture. Let's go to my slide deck. Action figure news slides. Add new picture. Add file. Right, she's in. She's in, locked and loaded, ready to go. If I've done it correctly, she'll be at the end of the slide deck. If I've done it incorrectly, she may just well appear in the middle of the conversation. Let's see. So I'll hang around, keep on collecting. I'll show you the picky in a minute. Right, Jono here, sticking to the G.I. Joe Classified for a minute. Lenny also hinted at a Dragonfly pack like the Hiss Tank got, so that could be another 2 or 3 box numbers. Yeah, okay, he did. You're right. That's interesting. Australia, there it is. Keep on collecting is in Oz. Here you go. Vern clearing up the San Diego Comic-Con portal exclusive purchasing thing. San Diego Comic-Con, there's a lottery to even get in the line at Hasbro, a limit of 2 of the exclusives per person. And I assume that means like 2, you could buy a Coco and a Death's Head, or a Transformers double pack and a Coco, not 2 Cocos. Everybody's talking about Jessica Fletcher. And then sometimes they run out of the exclusives for the day because they only bring a certain amount per day. Yeah, which would suck, wouldn't it? If you, like, you know, you're in the queue and you're waiting. Venom, following up on Jono's comments around the Coco head, I wholeheartedly agree. Usually I'm not the biggest proponent of figures having default screaming expressions, but for this case, it certainly would have improved on the appeal of the figure. Then Bobby talking about the QR codes. That first year they did the QR codes with Mindbender, I was at that con. I got to the Hasbro Pulse booth with my 6-month-old in 5 minutes, and they were already out of the codes. I blew a fuse. Well, for a start, I can't even imagine you ever blowing a fuse, Bobby. You're so chilled out. But I could understand how that would be super frustrating if you're there, doors open, straight over to the Hasbro stand and be like, we're all out. Sorry, pal. Jono teasing. Some Golden Girls in the mix now. Figures can work for moms. My mom was happy when I gave her her favourite Golden Girl, Blanche, for Christmas. Betty White all the way, man. Betty White, what are you doing with Blanche? Come on, what are you messing with that tramp for? Controversial statement. Who'd have thought that'd be the most controversial thing I'd say this evening? It's true you can get people to buy their allotment for you, says Vern, but it doesn't always work out because some people will want you to pay a little extra, for sure. Yeah. Vern's just explaining his driving. Anyone else hit up the big EE sale? Back orders and pre-orders count for the sale. EE is getting most of my money for the next 5 months. Well, one would hope then that you've used the MoDXtra Games and Collectibles Entertainment Earth affiliate link. If you're shopping there already, by using that link, you're giving me a little kickback, which helps me out with things like the Amazon accessory reviews on the channel. But you get to, you know, no cost to you. You buy what you're buying anyway. I shouldn't be talking about money. It's gross. First next message will be the lyrics to the Who track he's singing on. Sound 11. Get it up to 11. So it's a mystery when she will turn up. Hey! Yeah, unintentional. Well done, Jono. If she turns up, one of us is getting murdered. Right, I'm doing Jessica Fletcher. Come on, let's see if she comes up next. Oh dear. Right, let's go on to next, which was the Marvel Legends. I wanted to talk about the Death's Head, which is in equal measures pleasing and displeasing to me. Oh, the Coco I saw out and about. I think it's $39.99. I wrote the price down here. And that quote from before I mentioned, select quantities available on Hasbro Pulse after the San Diego Comic-Con. So this was the next thing that caught my eye from those exclusives, was the Death's Head. I have fond memories, although I have to confess that I hadn't really thought about Death's Head in a very long time. And then they And then they revealed this, and I was like, oh yeah, Death's Head and the Dragon's Claws, and it all came like a wave of nostalgia just hit me suddenly. And I started remembering, just like Action Force, basically, Action Force, Transformers, Death's Head, my first encounter of him was in the Marvel UK Transformers comic, and the Dragon Claws comics, the old Marvel UK lines, and I used to buy Captain Britain and stuff, and so this huge wave of nostalgia hit me. But I was looking at him and was like, he doesn't quite look right. So I went back and had a little nosy, and of course it's the colour scheme. The classic version that I remember from a young British lad buying my Marvel UK comics was the green. He was in green. Although, did I read somewhere, maybe one of the folks over this side of the ocean will know. I feel like I read somewhere that Death's Head was the first Marvel UK comic published in the American format, the smaller size. Little factoid there, if it's correct. That'll serve you well. I'm sure that'll come up in a pub quiz sometime soon. Just wet the whistle a minute, guys, with my grossly undersweet tea. So yeah, Death's Head, really pleasing for a British guy who used to read the character and has fond memories of the characters. He just kind of splashed over me. So while I'm a little more lukewarm around Retro Coco, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it looks great. It's just it's a bit too niche for me. Death's Head, I could be tempted to go for. Could be tempted to go for if I can get in on those limited quantities on Pulse after the convention. I love the deluxe packaging, the old classic retro trading card design there. He's got all the Death's Head gear, like the mace and the axe and all that stuff, so it's pretty cool. The grenade launcher, hand swaps, his little mini shield and stuff. So I'm actually really into this one. My only disappointment, as I say, is that once that kind of those deep nostalgic kind of reminiscences came up out of me, I was like, he doesn't look right. And it's the colour scheme that's not sitting right with me. But still, yes, awesome. I'd love a batch of Dragon Claws now and a Rodimus Prime and get me Lady J out and sort of make that whole Transformers Action Force weird crossover thing that happened in Marvel UK. A little display around that, But yeah, really great. It looks top notch. Another $39.99, which seems to be the sort of standard package price point now for these sort of deluxe boxed items. So yeah, I might be tempted by a Death's Head. This one could tempt me. I'm not sure. Is the body that's reuse? Is it maybe a Colossus? I'm just going to go back a slide. Can't really tell. Yeah, the legs and arms from a Colossus, perhaps, or like an Omega Red, or something. It's definitely got a bit of a vibe of that design, hasn't it? But some lovely sculpting going on there. I'm trying to see if he's got. I haven't really explored the lengths of it. I'm missing. Sometimes I feel like I miss the butterfly joints on Marvel Legends. Sometimes I miss the butterfly joints. But all the things that I regularly complain about with regards to Marvel Legends, like sculpted armor and sculpted boots and sculpted gloves, this guy's got it all. This guy's got it all. So very interested in the Death's Head there, just as an old, 80s Marvel UK comic book collector, really. Nothing more exciting than that. It will be a bit of an outlier in my collection. The main body of my collection is X-Men related figures with a handful of kind of core main name dudes, like the Hulk. In fact, my Marvel Legends boxes, I was messing around with them earlier today. My Marvel Legends box is here, but so the core, it will be a bit of an outlier in my collection, but that's okay. I can have outliers. I've got the Union flag Spider-Man, Spider UK in there, and the Captain Britain from the What If cartoons, as a bit of a random outlier because they've got the Union flag stuff. So there we go. Right, let's see what chat's got to say about Death's Head then. Lone Dragon, I tried to use an affiliate link and it took away the sale. Oh man! All right, fair enough then. Well, you get your discount price. It's more important than the affiliate link. Here's Jono, defo in on Death's Head, but god damn that box looks shit. Oh, you don't like the you don't like that retro nostalgic trading card? I might even have some. He says, looking over at his trading card binders up there. Might even have some of those old ones. Although I lost or got rid of a lot of them. It's one of my great regrets in life, along with many of my 80s/90s collectibles. But one of my biggest regrets is my old trading cards. Getting rid of some of my old Marvel trading cards. Because like some of the Flair Ultra stuff that I had from around 94, 95 is worth a fortune now. Disappeared into the sands of time. Oh, there we go. Connor holding up the one of his main preoccupations is the Hasbro Pulse EU pricing, which is perfectly justified, might I add. I'm not criticising the preoccupation in any way, but more about placing your bets as to how long it takes for Connor to bring it up. Yeah, Brian saying it's based off the trading cards. I've heard Death's Head crossed over with Doctor Who. If so, which Doctor? That is true, but I don't have nor recall reading the particular instance that took place. But it will be around, what are we talking? 87? 1987, 86? So who was the Doctor in 1987? Although actually, I could have just Googled which Doctor. Sylvester McCoy. So let's see if it was Sylvester McCoy. Death's Head, Sylvester McCoy. Yeah, Death's Head issue 8, apparently. And in the Doctor Who magazine, 135, according to my very quick and possibly inaccurate Google. So there you go. I knew that was the case, but I didn't read Doctor Who stuff. Well, it's based on shit-looking trading cards then. Real whiff of Nickelodeon. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's one of those horses for courses kind of situations, clearly. But how long is it going to actually stay in the box, you know? Lone Dragon, I just want a Hound costume, Rachel, and then Captain Britain in one of the costumes I really like. Oh, which Captain Britain costume you into? I nearly bought the 3-pack, you know, with Kitty Pryde and Megan in it. I nearly bought that, but I kind of felt like it was a bit expensive at the time. And I have an older Captain Britain in here somewhere. Where are you, Captain Britain? There's Captain America. It might not be in this box, actually. Oh, no, there you go. So that's the Captain Britain, which I think is like the... I can't remember how old that one is. But there's been one subsequent in the 3-pack, and then I was like, well, this one's fit for purpose. I don't really display him all that often. And I like the belt to cover up the waist join, so I sort of stuck it out with this one, really. But the other one had the bearded design. But I'm also kind of partial to his Captain Britain sort of the sort of lion look, you know, the 3 lion look one in just the blue and the red, you know, with the cutaway mask. But I'm interested to know, Lone Dragon, which is your favourite Captain Britain uniform? Venom in there saying it is Colossus Arms and Legs. Brian also saying it is defo Colossus Arms and Legs. The Build-A-Figure one, yeah, okay, sure. The Build-A-Figure one, right. Yeah. So is that different to the Colossus Juggernaut one? Keep on collecting. Would have been cooler with a soft goods cape or happy with plastic cape? Great question. So, I've not always been the biggest fan of soft goods sometimes. You know, it has to be really well implemented, doesn't it? It has to be like really spot on for a soft goods cape to land well. Like me, like I really like with the wiring in M. Bison from the Street Fighter line. Really into that. Really enjoyed really enjoying the soft goods cape there. So much so he's still out on my little play shelf there. So it has to be implemented really well. And when they cut corners, and I kind of liked and have been more keen, like on Mindbender and Serpentor in the G.I. Joe Classified line, So I'm coming around to it. I'm coming around to it. But normally, in the past, I've been a bit happier with plastic capes, to be fair. I find that things like shelf display fade and the like is less, and the frustration when it's not wired or I can't quite get it into the style of shape that I want. See, I remember having a soft goods caped Batman years ago, and it just used to really piss me off. But I'm coming around to it. However, with Death's Head, if I go back to these pictures here, for the way I'd probably display him, I think the plastic cape's okay. It's all right, just all right. Like the soft goods cape on, like my Black Series Boba Fett, it's a bag of shite. The soft goods little drapey cape there, and the Darth Vader I've got with the soft goods on it, fucking rubbish. Yeah, Jono. Wish they'd gone all out for a soft goods cape. Yeah, and it would need to be like a really well implemented, like fully all out, wired, well put together, lovely piece of work. You know what I mean? And then Venom saying, I hope the metallic grey ends up looking better on hand from the pictures. It may be a bit plasticky. Yeah, I agree with you there. And that is something that, once again, has cursed Marvel Legends in the past. I picked up the Retro Apocalypse last year. And the head sculpt, love the head sculpt, and it looks great, but the plasticky build of the figure, and the Strife as well, he looked very plasticky in the sort of metallic areas. So yeah, that could be a downfall of this figure for sure, and that's definitely something that happens with Marvel Legends that I've been critical of in the past, 100%. One sec, guys. My chat is frozen. I'm pretty sure you guys are still talking, and I'm not seeing. Let me just reload it. It's going to take a lifetime to reload. And right, where was I up to in the chat? Yeah, see, you guys were definitely chatting away, moving on, and I was not keeping up. Reuse Colossus. Soft goods was what we were discussing then. Metallic grey. Yeah, Jono, sadly, the grey mouldy plastic is my guess for the final product. Yeah, I agree. It will be likely the case. For a $40 exclusive, it's going to be disappointing. Well, maybe. Let's see. Give it time. Let's 90 Aussie dollars, yeah. Sylvester McCoy. Brian, I'd love it if they redid Death's Head 2 as well. So Death's Head 2, I'm not much less familiar with Death's Head 2. Like I said before, this one, I saw the picture on that IGN article, and just like a filing cabinet had been opened in my head. It really was very, very strange. Like, well, not even a filing cabinet. I was picturing in my mind, I used to have an old ring binder with the A4 sleeves, and I used to keep my comics. I used to put them all in this ring binder that my dad gave me with a load of A4 sleeves. So I had all my Action Force, my Transformers, my Death Claws, Captain Britain. I'm just trying to think, like, all sorts of stuff. I used to have, like, Dan Dare, Roy Rogers, all this stuff. I used to keep them all in these ring binders, in these plastic sleeves. And it just kind of like opening a filing cabinet. But years later, when Death's Head Return came back and was this new version, I didn't engage with it. Read very little with the character in it. And I kind of prefer the 80s goofy aesthetic, if I'm being honest. However, it wouldn't have pained them too much. I wouldn't have thought to throw in the Death's Head sculpt with that, Agreed, Venom. That plastic look just never looks right most of the time, which sucks as they can nail it when they want to, like with Doctor Doom. Yeah, or that Captain America I had out before. Wherever I threw him. Where did I throw him? Yeah, the paint on this one looks tremendous, really great, and the sculpting of the armor at the top there and that. And this the anniversary figure. What was this one? 30, 35? Off the top of my head. Yeah, really, really good. I've not seen Doctor Doom though. I've not, again, Fantastic Four stuff is not an area I know a great deal about. Oh, Lone Dragon saw the Excalibur 3-pack somewhere cheap recently. Well, that's, if I happen across one for a low price, I probably would pick it up. Fluffle, heads up, Chris. Near the end of 2024, Lego X-Men Mansion and approximately 10 minifigures. Yeah, funnily enough, I was in the Lego shop on Saturday. I was up at I took my daughter shopping for some clothes, and I always take a minute to nip in the Lego store, and they had the X-Wing there, and had a tenner off, and I was tempted. I was very, very tempted. Surely, Brian, I'm looking eagerly for an update for a Death's Head 2 as well. The first Marvel Legends version is okay, but definitely weak on accessories. Okay, so quite a bit of support, but I think it was the old Death's Head 2 figure. Oh, that was in the little hint in the background, was it? Dan was teasing him in the background. Sure. Profit, I'm going to pursue exclusive Death's Head. His 4-inch figure I have is great too. Brilliant. Yeah, so a lot of support out there then for this Death's Head figure. Here's Lone Dragon with his favourite Captain Britain. My favourite Captain Britain costumes are the ones with the diamonds on the head and the shoulders, and the one with the X on the chest and the white stripes that go all the way down. I know exactly the one you're talking about. Thank you for answering my question, Lone Dragon. Brian, the Age of Apocalypse Bath Colossus. Yeah, so that is definitely different to the Juggernaut 2-pack one. But Lone Dragon's in for the classic costume with the lion and the scepter, which is my fave. Right, lots of chatting and nattering. For Connor coming in though, Bison's cape should be the standard design for all soft good capes going forward. Yeah, I mean, I've said before, I'm not really much of a fan of soft goods, and sort of whinged about soft goods really. But I'm coming around. I really liked Serpentor's, although it wasn't wired. I don't think, was it? I don't think it was wired. I'm looking because Serpentor was hanging around earlier today as well. But I really like Serpentor's, and then M. Bison's definitely. I was like, oh yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this. So I may have been too hasty. But also sometimes like soft goods takes things out of my budget at times as well, which I think is another influencing factor around my displeasure around soft goods, is that it takes a figure that I like and moves it into a new budget banding that I'm like, oh no, I like the figure, but I can't pay that much for it. Do you know what I mean? So that may also be an influencing factor. Which leads me neatly into, though, the idea, convention exclusives, man. Hang on, I'm going to have to take a drink. And maybe a quick blast of nicotine before I whinge about this. I'm going to have to hydrate and nicotine to have a whinge. Very important. Yeah, conventions exclusives, man. They do my fucking nutting. Like the G.I. Joe classified stuff didn't turn out too bad. I knew the day, the day and the time that they were going to be hitting the Hasbro Pulse website. I was there. I struggled to get hold of a Serpentor, but then someone gave me a heads up. He's back on Pulse, and I was just there at the right place, right time. Ordered my Mindbender and Chuckles. No issue at all. So that's okay, but I have heard and seen folks out and about like, oh, when's he going to come in? I can't get hold of it. And then they said, oh, we're not going to redo Serpentor. That's also disappointed folks, and it's all just a pain in the ass. But I just have, as a UK collector, convention exclusives were like one of the banes of my existence, absolute banes of my existence. So I was mentioning about collecting trading cards before. There'd be a convention exclusive trading card that I'd back then, in the 90s, would never get my hands on. Would never ever get my hands on. And then it just became a card that sat on card lists that was always going to be missing from my binder and making my sets incomplete and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Unless I could get it on the secondary market. And of course, the secondary market back then was not like it is now, where you can hop on eBay or Vinted or whatever. It was adverts in the back of comic books and magazines and stuff. You know what I mean? Or conventions. Going to conventions. And UK trading card retailers over here. The open box sellers would just, the convention exclusives, they get their hands on one and they would sell it for an extraordinary amount. Even more than it would be valued at in North America. So I've always had a little kind of pain point around convention exclusives anyway, because of the experience of convention exclusives just not being a thing that ever hit these shores in the early days of me being a collector. But then characters like Once a Man Coco and Death's Head, which are arguably desirable, popular characters that people, Once a Man Coco is a figure that people have been asking for. That shouldn't be a convention exclusive. That should not be a convention exclusive. I said this last year around the time of San Diego Comic-Con. For all my complaints and saltiness about McFarlane Toys, he knows how to put on a convention exclusive, because he gets a figure and he'll put... It might be a crazy paint job or something wacky, but it's still a figure that you can get in your mainline collection, hypothetically. That's the whole other thing. But it's not an exclusive that is desirable in the same... it's a collector's piece that's special and you buy it because you went to the convention, but it's not one that's desirable in the sense of it's a character. If you were trying to put together... If you wanted a full-on Cobra La display in your G.I. Joe Classified, then a Nemesis Immortal goes out as a mainline release and Pythona turns up as a mainline release, or whatever, but you didn't manage to get your hands on a Once a Man Cobra Commander, and then you missed your chance on Hasbro Pulse because you were working a shift that day that you couldn't quite get a few minutes to sneak off to the toilet to get your order in or whatever. The frustration and aggravation of living with that and then having to buy it on the secondary markets, not cool. Even with lines like G.I. Joe Classified, the exclusive figures should be good collector's pieces that are rewarding for the convention attendee to buy, but if it never ever became available for the wider collector community, it wouldn't pain you. Like if someone's putting together a Cobra La display out there, upcoming Cobra La releases in G.I. Joe Classified, they're going to be aggravated by that. They're going to be aggravated like that. At least Death's Head's a bit of a kind of a bit of a niche character, although I would argue putting on Death's Head as a convention exclusive like this, although Jono, I think I saw you mention earlier on in the chat, it's going to turn up in 6 months in the green colour scheme. Probably with a soft goods cape. But I don't know. Am I talking madness? I noticed chat's gone quiet as I've started having a whinge about dissent in the ranks there. I might be the minority, not the majority around this stuff, but it just fucking annoys me. You know what I mean? I'm fortunate that I've got the type of job where I can, if something's going on sale at 5 PM. Oh, is everything all right? The connection, I'm getting a red light on my connection. You guys still got me? I don't know if you have... With the time delay, I don't know if you caught up to me asking the question. You guys still got me? I am experiencing a technical issue. I've got a big error bar across the top of my stream. Right, hang on. Dropped a few frames. It's gone back to green. I think we're all right. I think it should correct itself imminently. So apologies to anyone out there who had a little bit of a bumpy stream experience there for a minute, but I think it's gonna kind of rectify itself imminently. Right, let's see what folks have got to say in chat. So a little bit more conversation around the soft goods there. Yeah, they just add so much. Yeah, they do. But they also add so much in terms of price as well. Mindbender's cape that stains the figure. Yeah, although that didn't happen with mine. My Mindbender was fine. It didn't stain the figure at all. So maybe that earlier batch, I'm not sure. But the ones over here in the UK took absolutely forever to get here. Venom, soft goods can make or break a figure. It's like there's no in between from my experience. Yeah, like sometimes when like that, I bought the Retro Beast and they sort of threw that lab coat in, and it was just a bit crap. I had him in it once for the review and a few photos I took for a thumbnail, and that's it. He's never won it again since, So there we go. Hello, Dragon. Have another sub. I hope you like Meatball. Oh, thank you, my mum. For full-on soft goods like Mezco's, I 100% agree, Venom. But capes and cloaks on figures, soft goods all the way for me. Yeah, very good. Marvel fan, sorry I'm late. I had to do something. No, not too late. But how are you doing? No, you're not too late. I've got at least another half an hour, if not longer, in me, my man. But I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking, Marvel fan. Everyone take a moment to say hi to Marvel fan for me. Flaffle, everybody needs a... What's that? Corporal? Capel tight Joe buddies that can order an extra for you. A couple of tight Joe buddies. Yeah. Hashtag collectors helping collectors. And on that note, while we're talking about collectors helping collectors, massive shout out, everyone. Big fist bump in chat for Connor, please. Fuller's Figures. Because a couple of streams ago, I was talking about really liking the ferret rider, but I didn't want the ferret bike. And Connor squared me off. And then I was watching GeForce Racing 20, and Connor had sent some stuff out to him too. Just an absolute solid hashtag collector helping collector. And so if you would all do me the honour of giving him a fist bump in chat and recognising the awesomeness that is Connor Fuller over at Fuller's Figures, I would appreciate that. And while we're talking about him, let's see what he's got to say. If you're collecting a line and supporting it through 100 figures, no character should ever be out of reach to everyone. Yeah, absolutely. It's like if you got a so like McFarlane, they've done a Superman. It's like a gold statue version, but it's exactly the same as the mainline Superman. They've just painted it up in the gold statue version. And if you're a hardcore Superman or you're a Superman fan or you're at the convention, then it's rewarding and special as a convention exclusive. But you're not excluded from getting that character in a classic Superman outfit that you want for your display. You know, whereas Once a Man Coco as a desirable figure that people were asking for just doesn't quite feel right, does it? Mayfex's Hush Batman cape is the gold standard of soft goods. Fluffle's good. Connection good on our end. All right, I've caught up with the chat about when I had my little stream wobble. No, exclusives annoy many of us. Still hearing you. Thank you, Prophet. I hear you and see you. Still good. Why is Chris now sounding like Tinky Winky? Ow! Will, no, you're right. That crap happened early with the Cobra Island figures. It was terrible to get some of them. Yeah, like the Cobra Island Viper over here. I don't know if it was what it was like for you guys in the US. And because I wasn't kind of collecting publicly back then, I wasn't running the channel on this subject at the time. I didn't really have much lines of communication out into the community, so I don't know what it was like for you guys, but the Cobra Island Viper and Major Blood were, they were whispered about in the corners of pubs, near Stonehenge, like it was some sort of mythical item. You'd chance upon an ogre or a unicorn on the moors sooner than you'd find a Cobra Island Major Blood or Viper out and about. Lone Dragon. I feel like I would be upset if I had to order things on my phone. I don't even like using the internet on my phone just to look up stuff and sometimes a YouTube video. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying it's an ideal circumstance at all, Lone Dragon. But I also recognise and acknowledge that people, are on shift, they're working, they often open up items on Hasbro Pulse specifically at, it tends to be like 5 in the evening for me. Which would, on the East Coast put you at midday, which is really difficult to get there and do the old F5 in if you're super keen on getting something. And then it just makes the whole toy collecting experience like trying to get your hands on Taylor Swift tickets, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Jessica Fletcher's still to come, yep. Bit of chat. I disagree on the soft goods adding to the price. As Connor mentioned earlier, Jada did buy some soft goods for the same price as other figures in line. That's a very good point, actually. That is a very good point. And that M. Bison's awesome. It's a tremendous figure. I've been having lots and lots of fun with this guy. When my cable came the other day, I was like a big old man-child here on my desk. I was going, fight! Pretending to do Capcom versus Marvel. While I was on a Teams call, might I add. I'm supposed to be concentrating on a project. Here we go. Connor's fist bumps. Fist bump for Connor. Retrocarded Viper has got to be coming. No way Hasbro has their heads buried that far in the sand. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, they always seem to go up for pre-order at commute time. Or sometimes I've noticed as well, there seems to be a strange habit of things going up for pre-order at 6 o'clock or 6:30 at a time when I'm at something like my son's school, because there's the school plays on or something. You know what I mean? I've noticed that weirdly as well. It's like, why is it always when I'm sat on a chair far too small for me, feeling uncomfortable and making small talk with other parents? So there we go. Right, let's move on from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives now, shall we? And let's talk a little bit about Fresh Monkey Fiction. So regulars around these parts know we've been watching the Fresh Monkey Fiction stuff with interest. I mentioned the other day in chat on Vern's stream, but I'll reiterate. I've had my email, folks, Big Bad Toy Store email, that the Monster Force Wave 1 figures that I pre-ordered are coming in August, which for me here in the UK, you've got to factor in the delivery time and all that coming from the States. Now, I might not pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store again, now knowing that Kapow Toys has got a deal with Monster Force, but I kept these Big Bad Toys ones in because I wanted to get my hands on them, and well, I'm impatient. What can I say? I'm impatient. I've got FOMO. I run a YouTube channel. I wanted to get my hands on them, but I might not ongoing. So the proof will soon be in the pudding around this stuff, and our message of looks good, but untested right now. Oh, wait, sorry. I meant to give you all the link in chat for the IGN article that last stuff was just based on. So I'll just throw that one out there. So let's have a look at some of the stuff that's been going on with Fresh Monkey Fiction. So they revealed some figures at the JoeFest panel. They've then subsequently had a tremendous interview on a live stream with Moody over at A Toy Kind of Mood, which you'll find, link number 4, which you'll find here as well, where they talked about some of these reveals and shared some more stuff. So I'm excited, and when these figures get in hand, hopefully they're up to the standard and as good as I found with my Naughty or Nice Father Christmas. But let's do our Fresh Monkey Fiction update. So Cops and Crooks, based on the classic animated series, there was the first one. This got a lot of fuss out and about. Talking of soft goods, actually, this picture doesn't have it, but there was a photo knocking around of it in the glass cabinets with the soft goods coat on the top of it. It's not a cartoon I'm particularly familiar with. I don't know, did it even really make its way over here? The folks over this side of the ocean, do you guys have memories of watching this? I don't really have memories of watching this as a lad, but there were lots of people I saw out and about, and some of my Joe bros over on the Discord were like, "Oh yeah, Cops and Crooks, I remember that, amazing, awesome." So this has proven to be one that's excited a number of people, and it does look like a good figure. It looks like it's going to be the same standard, the same quality as we've been seeing with the Operation Monster Fall stuff that's been coming out. It is an odd figure. I don't understand. Well, an odd character, I should say. It's not the figure's fault. The design. Like to have a top that goes to there, and then his cyborg bits, and then pulling trousers up to his thighs. It all seems very unusual. But what do I know? But it's got its little storytelling pieces in there, like holding up the badge and the briefcase and the handcuffs and that, which is all nice. There's obviously the soft goods coat that you can whip on or off him. Head swaps, which is all lovely added value. It's all looks solid, looks great. Not one for me, because like I say, I've got no connection to the IP whatsoever. I did hear someone, again, this is over on the Joe Bro Discord, Bobby Dawes, maybe it was you, who mentioned it to me, that there's a character in Cops and Crooks that is reportedly Beachhead's son in the future, and that the universes are connected. Is that right? Did I hear that right? Was it you, Bobby Dubs, that told me that? So an interesting one. Certainly a good-looking figure. I've got no criticisms of what I'm seeing here. It's just not for me because I've got no nostalgic connection to the character. But let's see what folks have got to say. Lone Dragon, I managed to get a hint out of Fresh Monkey Fiction on the stream the other day. Not something most people would get too excited about, though. Oh, okay. Was that the Toy Kind of Mood stream? I was only there for the first half an hour because it was like 1:30 in the morning for me. I watched the video on demand, but please do share, Lone Dragon. Please do share your little hints. Who knows? You might find someone else. A kindred spirit, a like mind who gets excited by the little hint too. John O'Redman, the Cthulhu figure looks epic. Yeah, we'll have a look at that one in just a sec, Jono. And Lone Dragon has shared. I've been asking them to re-release the Cyborg Santa and Pirate Santa for those of us who missed the first Naughty and Ice Wave, and he said he could let it drop. That another version of the Pirate Santa, that is. Yeah, so I've got the combat camo Santa on order from the next wave as well, which I'm looking forward to. So I can slip him in amongst my G.I. Joes. My Valaverses, you know what I mean? So yeah, I love my Naughty or Nice Santa. My Christmas toy box is right at the back at the minute, but yeah, love it. That guy looks like he's from Reno 911 Miami. It looks like he's wearing short shorts. Yeah, we don't judge though, Venom. Jono, that's a pretty crap place to have bionics. Yeah, a very disappointing area of the body. Oh, the innuendo's coming thick and fast. Oh, that was you. I watched the replay. That was a great question. It got me definitely excited for more Santa Figs. Yeah. He's big with the ladies. Bobby Dubs. Oh, it wasn't you, Bobby Dubs. Hello there, Pedro Almeida. Yes, it is missing the coat. There are photos out and about on the internet of the figure when they had it in the display cabinet at the con. So you can find it out and about, but I'm just using the official promo photos that Fresh Monkey Fiction posted on their Facebook page. Not the Facebook page, sorry, their Instagram page, which you'll find here. I'll give you that link. Oh, Pedro, I think that's your first comment as well, so welcome. Everyone say hi to Pedro for me, folks. Lone Dragon, I've got the Zombie Santa and I love him, and so does my 4-year-old nephew. Yeah, the Naughty or Nice line is a lot of fun. I enjoy my Santa, and I'm looking forward to Camo Santa. Although I noticed it said January 2025, and I was like, oh man, that's no good for a Christmas figure. It needs to come, November 2024. But there you go. I'll just keep hold of it and use it the next year. So there's the Cops and Crooks. Anyway, next on the list, right, here we go. Here's the Operation Monster Force stuff. So this is Mr. Legacy, the historian, and the ambassador of Harbinger of Doom. I believe that's the official pronunciation. Just in case anyone's wondering. I heard it from a reliable source. But yeah, the Cthulhu Beast looks amazing. But of course, the thing about the Cthulhu Beast, just the same as the Order of the Crimson Moon figure from the first wave pre-orders, caught folks' eyes. It's the hooded head, and this one in particular with the long, fascist military style coat and big boots is a customizer's dream for folks that want to get a hooded Cobra Commander of some sort in their collection. So a 6-inch size figure with a hood that could be, I think, pretty straightforwardly customized with a bit of quality airbrushing could get you there. So that's one of the kind of eye-catching elements of all this. However, I think they just look like cool figures. I've said before that I am sort of resisting going into the supernatural narrative stuff side of the Operation Monster Force and the Order of the Crimson Moon. So the more military stuff that I can kind of integrate and use to complement my existing kind of military toy collection, specifically my G.I. Joe Classified, like the Crimson Moon Soldier and the other soldier in the black gear that I pre-ordered, and the General, I put a pre-order in for the General, which I think is a Wave 2 figure. That's not coming in August. That's later. So I've been shying away, but they're all right. They're decent figures. I think the Mr. Legacy is an interesting one because obviously there's the comic book and the lore that they're growing. He's got a particular function to fulfill, and he's a particular type of character. A shirt and tie, waistcoated, trousered figure is an interesting figure to have in your collection for kit bashing, but then they've not really set you up for a great deal of success with the hand swaps and the head swaps, because he's still got the purple gloves and stuff. So, but you can probably, if you're buying a lot from the line, I'm sure there's some combination of hands and head that you could get, that you could do something with a kind of more civilian kind of look. So I can see Mr. Legacy being of interest, and I would half consider him, not because I want to step into the supernatural lore of Operation Monster Force, but because I could just see that being a really useful figure, kit bash figure, to have in your collection to fulfill a number of roles if you're taking photographs or if you're trying to do something funky with a display. However, that said, I am getting increasingly more interested in the supernatural storyline, because some of the characters that they've shown us look really cool. Like this dude with the Cthulhu head on it just looks amazing, looks really good. And I hope it, in 3D plastic in hand form, if the sculpt's as good as that digital render is selling us, then, you know what I mean? So I could be on a very dangerous, slippery slope here. Very dangerous, slippery slope, especially now they've got a UK retailer organised. Now, there's a couple more Monster Force figures, which I'll revisit. I'll light touch on them a bit later on, because, again, I'll reiterate, they were in the Toy Kind of Mood interview, and I wouldn't want to... I'd recommend that you go and actually hear from the Fresh Monkey Fiction head honcho dude talking about them, because he talks, lots of stuff in that. But yeah, I'm on a dangerous, slippery slope with these guys. So it's all now hinging on these new figures arriving in August. If I get them in hand and I like the feel, then I don't know. I'll probably have to give something up. I must admit, I've put a stop to McFarlane Toys for now, DC Multiverse, because that's just, I was getting increasingly dissatisfied with the figure quality, the availability, and all that stuff. I'm not going to rehash all that. But I may have to, I don't know. It's getting dangerous right now. It's getting real dangerous. Especially when they're showing off stuff like this, the Soldiers of Fortune. So another kind of subline in this wider 6-inch kind of thing. Actually, sorry, before I go on to that, I'll just pause to see what folks in the chat are saying about these. Brian's liking what he's seeing. These are cool. Jono, not digging that Mr. Legacy at all, to be honest. Looks like they just stuck some random heads with the figure. Well, yes, sure. But conversely, that's kind of why I'm into it. So I could get rid of that stuff and put my own stuff on it. Lone Dragon. Had to look it up. Checkpoint is the name of the character who's Beachhead's son, not a main character. I don't remember him. So there is a connection between Cops and Crooks and G.I. Joe. I did hear that correctly out and about. The sporting characters in this line remind me of the characters from the Hellboy comics. Yeah, very similar kind of, like I said, fascist, Nazi, soldiery, Cthulhu demon type things. It's really, really interesting. It's just got a very menacing aesthetic, which you want your bad guys to have, And that's how the Cops figures were when they first came out. Bulletproof is going to have a soft goods trench. Yes. Thank you very much, Andy. Oh, G-Force is here. Everyone say hello to G-Force for me. Hello, mate. I was just talking about... I watched your Fuller's figure unboxing yesterday or the day before. Everyone saying hi to G-Force. Jono there. The side tentacles on Cthulhu almost look articulated. Ooh, what, in the fingers? Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing? And I love that the spell book with the tentacle coming out of it. And stuff like that as well is just useful to have around, isn't it? So I've got some old McFarlane 7-inch Buffy the Vampire Slayer figure stuff knocking around in my bits box, which is all like crucifixes and stakes and like ancient ornate axes and stuff. And And they're just handy to have around sometimes when you're doing like something a bit different or funky, or it's Halloween and you're trying to put some of your figures in a Halloweeny kind of stuff. So it's just useful to have random crap like spell books around and ornate canes and things, broadly speaking. But yeah, the tentacles do look very, very good on those hands. Oh, stop it! I'm talking myself into it. Profit there. I ordered the general as well. So many fun options in the alternative heads. Yeah, the Joe Colton and the. And, what's his name? Just died recently. His name just fell out my head suddenly. Absolute legend. Yeah, and of course that's generically the same sort of way I'm looking at Mr. Legacy and going, that general can fit in. You can make use of that in so many different scenarios with so many different of your lines, which I think is a powerful kind of marketing element to all of this. Venom, I think Fresh should be releasing some comics or some sort of media to spice up this franchise. The designs are good, they just need a good story. Even terrible toy lines get carried by supporting media. Yeah, so I think there is, if you go to their website, there is some kind of comic booky stuff on their website. But I know what you mean, it needs putting more front and centre. The storyline pieces need a bit more elevation, don't they, for the audience, I think. I only saw the Protos in person, but they were real tasty. Yeah, actually, I lined up. So, Punk with Toys, I noticed. I've not watched them yet, but I noticed the Punk with Toys had the 2 translucent exclusives from the JoeFest and did a review of them. Obviously, you don't get a sense of the paint applications and the paint quality and stuff, but he was talking about the articulation and things. So I'll get around to watching those because I'd be interested to know. No on the face, Chris. Oh, the tentacles down here. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like because they've got that little kind of cutaway piece. Okay, Connor's going into alert mode. No worries, mate. Take it easy, bruv. Shane will have to wait 24 weeks to a year to get these in hands. Well, these ones are probably even longer if they're the back end waves. Bobby Dubs here. When I took a walk around the Monster Force area, they had a figure that looked like Dr. Quest. Nice. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, Carl Weathers, obviously. Oh, Jesus. It's 20 past 11 for me, folks. Yeah, more emphasis. G-Force, you picked up the translucent vampire. Have you opened it up, or have you kept it in the packaging? I'd be very interested to know, actually. You should make a video and show it off, because I'd be interested to know, get as many kind of thoughts and opinions on the Monster Force stuff. So there's the Monster Force bits anyway. What's next? The Soldier of Fortune. I was going to go on to those. There we go. So the spies, we've got the 2 spies here in the tuxedos, one with the white top tuxedo, white jacket tuxedo, one in the full black. Lots of hand swaps, lots of head swaps. The Walter PPK obs, you got to come with a Walter PPK there. These look interesting. These look good. Again, you can start messing around if you want to do some kit bashing and make yourself a James Bond or whatever. Sorry, I was distracted then. I think I've got another news. So, Jason Keen's with us, everyone. Say hi to Jason Keen. Has anyone pre-ordered the new Battle Action Force compendiums? I have not, but I think if I am going to, I'll be doing it soon, because you've got the 3 for the price of 2 offer going on at the moment, which I think is very good. But it's still very expensive, and I'm just doing some budgetary considerations on that front. But they do look real good. They do look real good. And Jono's saying here, is it not kind of bullshit the Wave 1 of these figures has still not come out, but they have con exclusives ready to go? Yeah, well, I don't know. It didn't bother me particularly when I saw that they had the con exclusives and stuff, because it was like the random translucent ones. But I suppose that's more because I was less interested in the random translucent ones. So... Yeah. But if they're shipping and landing next month, we are in July now, then, yeah, I don't know. Or they were early prototypes or something. It didn't bother me, but I'm not, I can see where you're coming from. I'm not unempathetic to that point of view. It just washed over me, I suppose. And let's talk about GeForce's. Oh, it's for Vern, is it? Asked me to, you don't. I did. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Vern and GeForce are having a chat about the convention exclusives there. But getting back to the Soldiers of Fortune, just very, very straightforward kit bash fodder here, which are a good kit bash fodder. Don't get me wrong. I think you can get yourself a nice spy figure put together, or find reason. I'd be very interested to know. Sorry, folks, my hay fever's giving me a bit of nasal trouble. But if the head swaps are good and they work well with the likes of G.I. Joe Classified and what have you, then it could be a really good set of kit bash bodies to throw your Tomax and Zaymat on, or do some fun stuff like make a bit of a joke like Gung Ho going to a award ceremony or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I like the look of these. I'm less interested in the operatives that they were showing. Just the colour combos turn me off a little bit. I think the figures are fine, but there's no shortage of generic soldier operative-y types like this with a load of gear. I suppose, are these still gridiron weapons? Because I was about to say, like, if you were going for this, then you might as well, by the time this comes around, you might as well have just picked up some of the generic kind of Action Force figures for the same purposes within your collection, But if these have got the gridiron gear, that might be your unique selling point, your point of separation between this and Valaverse. But I'm less into these. The colour schemes aren't so interesting. They showed some more colour schemes as well, like a bright orange one too, and I'm like, nah, it's just not for me. Not for me. Brian, this would be great for a few Bonds. I can't believe no one has done Bond so far. Yeah, I heard out and about, but this is all kind of community speculation, that the problem with the Bonds is that because you've got all the different likenesses and the licensing is super complicated, with Connery, Lazenby, Moore, Dalton, Craig, Brosnan, it's all really complex kind of licensing and stuff. So how true that is or not, but you're right. I'm surprised that no one has thought to just, we'll just make some good, decent quality tuxedoed up figures, and then the community can kind of take care of itself in that way. You know what I mean? It's like Ramen Toys doing a bread van. Here you go. Here's a plain black bread van. You put a Go Faster stripe on it. Yeah, it's just coincidence. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose facial likenesses are a bit different, aren't they? Someone said Deadpool and Logan for these renders, and I can't unsee it. What, putting Deadpool and Logan's heads on them? Yeah, that would be fun, cool. Well, that's the point, isn't it? You could. How many different scenarios can you think of where you could? I mean, there is a Wolverine, isn't there, already in the patch Grey Hulk. Two-pack. Hang on, it's not Grey Hulk, is it? It's Mr. Fix-It. The patch Mr. Fix-It. But nonetheless, you can grab yourself a couple of these, and the world of possibility is just incredible. Yeah, good night, Gap. Thanks for swinging by, my man. Appreciate you. Yeah, Lone Dragon there. I want a Johnny English figure. Absolutely. Bobby Dubs, I like the spies. Won't get Bash one to be Michael Burt from The Spy That Took Me. Yeah. See, absolutely. Although GeForce, yeah, Yellow Operative, your mission, the sun. I mean, in what reasonable circumstance could you find yourself? So the red camo one very unique circumstance, and that's operating in a town where there's an active volcano eruption taking place, and the yellow one, God knows what that's all about. Oh, another new name in the chat, folks. Lance Keinholtz. Apologies for the pronunciation there. I wish I could go to SDCC to get some of these figures. Yeah, although these ones are pre-orders for year, 2 years. These are all previews that Fresh Monkey Fiction gave at JoeFest and then announced on their social media. So these specific ones I'm on right now, but some of the earlier ones, yeah. However, to give you the quote again, if you weren't with us a little earlier, Lance, it does say select quantities available on Hasbro Pulse after San Diego Comic-Con. So you may get your chance just yet, my friend. The Action Force will not be able to compete with these for sure. I don't think there will be much demand for Valor stuff once these drop. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean if these ones are kitted out with gridiron gear like the Operation Monster Force ones are, then that is definitely a huge separation point. Time will tell whether these are articulated better, the quality, the standard of the paint applications. You know, that we can't comment on just yet. But yeah, this could be dangerous territory for Valorverse for sure. Yeah, there you go. See the bread van, make it into a Punisher van, make it into an 18 van, kit it up for your bank robbers. I don't know, whatever. There's all sorts of uses, isn't there? Lone Dragon with the Johnny English. We hit that one, folks. I meant for the yellow and red Force figure, but even Bond figures fit the Wolverine Deadpool style. Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, sure. Yeah, I can see exactly what you're saying there. Sorry, Venom. I was slow on the uptake then. I was very slow on the uptake. Lone Dragon there. The camo's too bright. If you do a sun mission, you want to do it at night. Duh. Kamikaze operatives, yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw the other ones, but the other colours that they showed. Again, I'll give you the link to the specific video, Moody's interview with Fresh Monkey Fiction, Gridiron Studios, and Grindhouse Toys, who are all contributing to these lines. Really good, and they had like a bright orange one on there. I was like, what is that all about? Hi all, first time here in live chat. Yeah, thanks Lance. Pleasure to have you with you. Just get involved, my man. Just throw some stuff up and we'll roll with it. Mr. Bean, right. Mr. Bean, Sean Connery, Daniel Craig heads from a third party, ready for the Tux figures. He's locked and loaded. All in Profit 924. Thanks again for the 100th. And cool. Right, okay. I think that's everybody just saying hi to everybody. Now, these ones here are the ones that they talked about on a toy kind of mood. So I said before, I'm just going to light touch these because I think the interview that Moody did, it's with the head honcho at Fresh Monkey Fiction, the dude at Gridiron Studios, and the dude at Grindhouse Toys, all who had a hand in the construction and the development of these lines, and they can obviously speak a lot more knowledgeably and a lot more passionately about these than I can, and also, you know, Moody put on a great stream. You should go watch the video on demand on that. But the screen caps are courtesy of Classic Toys UK. I can't take credit for those, so I'll give you Classic Toys UK's Twitter page where I picked these up from. Classic Toys UK, on the ball on Twitter, definitely a good follow for keeping up to date with stuff. But you got the Commander Gridiron and the Dr. Tannis Rand in the Monster Force there. Commander Gridiron, the head sculpt there is based on the head dude at Gridiron Studios. It's his. So Commander Gridiron is the CEO of Gridiron Studios, which I thought was cute, but a good solid just core military figure. The supernatural element of the Operation Monster Force is less present there. You've got a lab guy who's turning into a werewolf. which is again good kit bash fodder. You got the wolf face, but the carry case with all the scientific gubbins. Then in the Soldier of Fortune, more good quality kit bash style figures, the Saboteur and the suited spy. But notice, squint folks, you can see the blue suit, and there's the hooded mask again. Getting some good use out of the hooded mask, but that one may be even more appropriate for your kit bash Cobra Commander desires. Oh, I'm getting a flash here saying it's going to run an advert. Let me stop that from happening. There you go. You don't want that. Then the season 4 that's under development, the introduction of some female characters, which I think the line does desperately need. It is very sausage festy in Operation Monster Force and Crimson Moon. So Little Red Riding Hood and Agent Harker, and then the head pack stuff. But again, I'll reiterate, I'd encourage you to go over to Toy Kind of Mood, check that out. I'm sure it won't be long before Fresh Monkey Fiction more formally put those out there on their own social media pages. So I'll give you their Instagram again, that I generally where I kind of keep up with their stuff. Let's have a look now what everyone's saying in chat. Great way to get added value out of a production run, but easy pass on the red and yellow dudes. Yeah, 100%, I agree. Did anyone else pick up Everett Ross to use as a Leicester Nygaard? Well, we'll find out, see if anyone gets back to you on that one. Vern got more exclusives from JoeFest than I, and he didn't even go. Yeah, Jason Keane, oh dear, I can't believe they're going with an IRA guy. Yeah, the Saboteur is a bit close to the line, actually. I will give you that. I was going to avoid that topic of conversation. Last week, I was trying not to. I asked that we didn't kind of get into the space where we talk about the insurgent from the Patriot soldiers. So I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna steer clear of that. If that's okay with you, Jason. However, I'm not insensitive to what you're pointing out there. Yeah, the head packs definitely vintage 12-inch stuff. It's the beards, isn't it? It's the hair shape and the beards. The one with the brown and the black hair in particular have got really strong vintage 12-inch G.I. Joe, Commander Joe Colton vibes about them. Venom says the female cover girl looks interesting. Yeah, Agent Harker, I don't know, a good guy presumably. I think on the stream they did kind of mention a bit of the storyline behind these guys, but that's early concept sketches, isn't it? So time will tell on that. And G-Force there saying great idea, Vern. Can't wait for that. So there you go. That's the Fresh Monkey Fiction update. Watching them with interest. Let's see what happens. And of course, the minute. Well, not the minute I like to get hands on with them, but when the handful that I have pre-ordered from Wave 1 arrive, I've not gone for the whole wave, but the couple that I have done, keep an eye out on the channel. I'll most definitely do a bit of a review on those because the future of Fresh Monkey Fiction and my collecting is just weighing exactly. Once I get those figures in hand, once I get a feel for them, and I know whether I'm in or out, things could change around these parts. Marvel Legends might have to go on the back burner for a while. Although to be fair, I'm not buying a lot of Marvel Legends lately, anyway. Particularly, I don't know. See, look at me. I'm sat here justifying it to myself in my head, convincing myself to do it. Anyway, it's time, folks. It's time. Here she is. Here you go, Lone Dragon. Who was it who hadn't seen the picture of this that I added it on for? I've forgotten now. Was it maybe Profit? Or Keep On Collecting, perhaps. Or there was Keep On Collecting done one. But there you go. There's the Jessica Fletcher. And I'm all for this. I won't buy it, I don't think. I'm not a massive Jessica Fletcher fan. But I can absolutely see a place for it in the market. And I would be a Columbo. I'd definitely grab a Columbo. But a whole range, if they really went the distance with this, it could be incredible. If they really went like all in on Poirot, do you know what I mean? And Ironside, and who was that? Who was the other courtroom dude? Oh Jesus! I want to say P. They just did like a reboot of it recently, didn't they? Or a prequel. Oh shit, it's falling out my head. I really shouldn't stream this late at night. I've had terrible trouble getting words out of my mouth today and thinking on things. Yeah, exactly. If you have a bookshelf full of mystery novels, pop the figure out there. You know, I've got stuff. Mason, thank you, Vern. I've got stuff like, well, they're here actually right now, but like I've got me my Reservoir Dogs and my Indiana Jones and my Marty McFly from NECA. They're all with my movie collection on the shelves in front of the DVDs and Blu-rays. You know, so it fits in. But you know, so I can see it. I can see it having a place. And like I said before, like get the Miami Vice pair, a Columbo, all the way up to like I'd love a Dick Van Dyke Diagnosis Murder. That'd be hilarious. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely hilarious. So they could really go the distance with this. And as far as a figure goes, you know, soft goods coat. If that torch truly does light up like that, that's awesome. The handbag, just really, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. G-Force, think of a crossover with the Bone Collector. Get your snooping ass out of here. If they want my money for Jessica Fletcher, I'm going to need figures of Mystery Inc. And it looks like Lone Prophet's right there with you. Been asking for a 112 Scooby-Doo line. Absolute gold for crossover picks. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Just the world of possibility with this stuff, I think, is massive. Jessica Fletcher in the first instance, because obviously they announced it, but just think what they could do. Just what they could do. Yeah, I can't even. Sorry, I was skimming my eyes over chat and still chuckling. 100% in on this, NECA. There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Come on. Looks like Vern's leaving. And keep on collecting. That's your new 2024 must-have. Yeah, well, I've seen some folks about, like, why does this exist? Who would want this? What's going on? But I think there really is a place for it, isn't there? Even if it's just like some random outlier in your collection that you pick up because just something about the quirk and the nostalgia of it all just appeals to you. I mean, we've all got that figure, haven't we? We've all got something knocking around, which is like, you know, that odd nostalgic figure that you just picked up because just there was an urge, a vibe to do so. We've all got it. So, yeah, Jono, getting it for your mum. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really cool. I probably won't pick it up, but I feel like there's a place for it. And I have random figures all over the shop that are just curiosities of this nature. Yeah, G-Force there, getting it for picks. Absolutely. Like Jessica Fletcher getting into it. Well, like I've been messing around with my Hulk today. Jessica Fletcher having an argument with the Hulk. You know what I mean? Just the things you could do. The things you could do. Yeah, Lone Dragon, got your Richard Simmons and your Steve Irwin on your desk. Yeah, that's right. I've got my, I've got my Yellow Submarine Beetles around it. You know, we all have a thing, don't we? We all have a little thing, like my Lego Submarine there. Like our little, there's something about it, the quirk, or it hits a particular nostalgic little bell inside us. And this is just one of those things. Just one of those types of figures. And I see plenty of stuff like this all the time. I think, well, you know, if I'm passing it in Forbidden Planet one day, and maybe it's my birthday, and someone's got me a voucher or whatever, or do you know what I mean? G-Force is going to be my Easter egg in every photo. Where's Jessica? Right, everyone, make sure you're following G-Force then, and keeping an eye out. Let's all play the Spot Jessica game. Now, because I added that one on last minute, I've got no information. I don't know how much it is. I don't know when it's due to come out. But yeah. It will be a mystery murder. Lone Dragon's got a side up that shows up in all his pictures. There you go. Exactly. See, yeah, all this stuff. It'll be brilliant. It'll be brilliant. So I'm all on board. All on board with Jessica Fletcher. But there you go. Keep on collecting, because you were asking before. I've just chucked that in at the end for you there. But I think if you head on over to NECA's own site, you can get the finer detailed information on that. But yeah, I think it's a great idea by NECA. I think there's a rich, deep well of these sorts of things, you know. That, you know, like G-Force is saying, for quirky random crossover photos and weird little display projects and dioramas and that, I think there's a really rich, deep well of this stuff, of 80s nostalgia, 90s nostalgia, murder mysteries, dramas, comedies that you could do. Like, if they brought out a Saved by the Bell Screech tomorrow, that would sell. You know what I mean? That would sell just on the nostalgia factor alone. Pedro's asking here, is it an action figure or a doll? That soft goods coat. From what I understand, it's an action figure. Well, as much action figure as NECA sometimes get. I'm just doing a quick Google for you here. It's part of the Toonie Terrors line, is it? Or is it? No, that was a previous release. Let me find it for you here. All right, props and replicas over here, who I sometimes shop with in the UK. I've got it advertised right now for 40 quid. And Kapow Toys, who I shop with more frequently. So let's have a look. $37.95. Fully articulated 8-inch figure. Tailored soft goods clothing, similar to the iconic toy line of the 70s. Interchangeable expressions, interchangeable sweater, jacket, scarf, handbag, flashlight, typewriter, and her book, The Corpse Danced at Midnight. Yeah, very good. She looks good, yeah. Yeah, and they've got her in all sorts of poses, like holding a finger up to her chin, thinking, and snooping around with a flashlight and stuff, with a shocked face swap. So, yeah, further investigation is obviously required, but yeah, this one is, yeah, good. No worries, you're quite welcome. Happy to help keep on collecting. It's all just a Google away. It's the 2024 must-have. Andrew Davis, Bread Van already comes in 18 colours. Oh, okay. Because I'm not planning on picking one up, I must confess to some ignorance there. I've not paid attention. Yeah, I got nothing more to add on that one. But there we go, folks. Look, listen, it's like 1:45 for me over here. So, 3,000 Aussie. Sorry, my exchange rate is killer. So that brings me to the end of all my pre-prepared material and everything. I've been streaming for about an hour and 45 right now. It's getting close to midnight, so I'm going to wrap it up imminently. But I'll just check in if anyone in chat's got any other final questions, comments, queries, concerns, anything I can address in the last, for another 5 minutes or so. If there's any burning questions anyone would like to put out there, I'll take a moment to get a drink. But yeah, let me know. I'll just wait for the time delay to catch up. Sometimes I glance at sometimes I glance at the comments on my reviews, and people are just, like, you could do a 25-minute review of an action figure, and they'll hone in on the one sentence or one word of misspeaking or the randomness. So I do this whole little joke piece on my G.I. Joe Classified. I did a whole joke about guttering. And I kept repeating the word guttering, because it was just like weird and random. And someone's commented just now, plumbing. It's like, I know it's plumbing. Did you not realise it was a bit? I was doing a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, whew. Oh dear. Anyway, Venom's asking, do you plan on getting the 85th anniversary line? Hitting the US and Canada now. Is the 85th anniversary line? So I've got Warbird on pre-order. Is the 85th anniversary line, and in two minds about Luke Cage and Iron Fist double pack right now. Venom. I need to make a decision soon because I noticed it sold out on UK Hasbro Pulse, but I know a few of the independent retailers over here have got it. But I'm in two minds on that. Is that 85th anniversary stuff? You must forgive me. When it comes to Marvel Legends, I don't pay the big picture stuff around it. I don't pay attention to. I only hone in on on the specifics. But that's in Marvel Legends pre-orders. The only one I've got at the minute is Warbird, and I'm fully intending on pre-ordering the Rogue Destiny pack. And what else? There was something else recently that caught my eye. Rogue Destiny and one of the deluxe ones. What the hell? I've had a brain fart, which is telling me it's time to wrap it up. But something else, something else is going up better. I'm planning on. All right, I'm going to close it down there then. Thank you so very much, everyone, for coming and hanging out. It's a pleasure, as always. Keep an eye out next week. I'll always update on Instagram or on my community post pages when I'm going live. But I can't remember what my work schedule is next week, but I think it's most likely going to be Tuesday again. Obviously, drop me a line, find me on Instagram or on Discord, or go to my Facebook page or tweet me. It's been rolling around in the bottom of the screen, but you'll find it all in the description as well. Yes, Lone Dragon, that's right. Warbird is the Carol Danvers Miss Marvel in the black jumpsuit with the big waft of blonde hair. If there's anything you want to get in touch with me about, please do. Otherwise, take it easy, folks. Love you to bits. I'm going to call it there. Ta-ra now.